The massive diplomatic vessel hung silently in the dark expanse of space, its sleek metallic hull reflecting the distant starlight. Captain J. Park stood motionless, his dark eyes scanning the holographic display that flickered with thousands of lines of complex legal text. Around him, the bridge crew worked quietly, their fingers dancing across luminescent control panels. Communications Officer Yuna Kim leaned closer to the historical documentation, her breath catching as she traced a barely visible paragraph buried deep within the Universal Sentient Rights Charter. The text seemed ordinary at first glance, but something about its wording made her pulse quicken. "Sir," she called softly, "I think I've found something extraordinary." J. Park approached, his military-issued jacket crisp and pressed despite hours of intense research. He studied the text, his initial skepticism gradually transforming into a look of profound curiosity. The document dated back thousands of galactic years, predating most known civilizations. It contained a clause so specific, so uniquely worded, that it appeared to provide unprecedented protection for emerging species, specifically humanity. The Galactic Confederation representatives, seated around the circular conference table, watched with growing tension. Representatives from the Orion Cluster, the Andromeda Coalition, and the Centauri Alignment all leaned forward, their varied alien physiologies betraying a mix of confusion and growing concern. "This cannot be real," muttered Krell, the reptilian representative from the Orion Cluster. His forked tongue flickered between scale blips, revealing his agitation. Yuna continued translating, her fingers moving across holographic translation interfaces. Each word she decoded seemed to add another layer of complexity to the already intricate legal text. The clause essentially created a protective shield around humanity, not just a diplomatic immunity, but a comprehensive legal barrier that would prevent any direct aggressive action against human settlements or individual humans across known space. Jay understood the implications immediately. Humanity, previously considered a minor species, barely spacefaring, technologically primitive compared to other galactic civilizations, was now potentially untouchable. How did this remain unnoticed? Asked Aria, the crystalline representative from the Andromeda Coalition. Her translucent body shifted colors with each spoken word, revealing emotional fluctuations. The answer was simple yet profound. The document was so old, so deeply embedded in archived legal databases, that most modern civilizations had simply overlooked it. Humanity's recent aggressive exploration and unexpected technological jumps had triggered a deep systems scan, which ultimately revealed this forgotten provision. J. Park recognized this moment as potentially the most significant in human history. The legal mechanism that could protect their species from potential extinction, from the predatory designs of more advanced civilizations. Yuna continued her precise translation, revealing more nuanced details. The law wasn't just a shield. It was a complex mechanism designed to protect species with unique evolutionary potential. Humanity, with its remarkable adaptability and rapid technological advancement, perfectly matched the clause's description. The alien representatives began discussing the implications. Some seemed frustrated, others appeared resigned. A few even showed a grudging respect for humanity's unexpected legal discovery. "This changes everything," Jad whispered to Yuna, who nodded silently. The implications were vast. No alien civilization could now directly attack human settlements. Any aggressive action would be immediately nullified by this ancient legal framework. Diplomatic channels would become the only acceptable method of interaction. Krell, the Orion representative, clicked his reptilian claws in frustration. Humans are unpredictable. This protection could destabilize galactic political structures. Aria's crystalline form, pulsed with complex color patterns, indicating deep contemplation. Or it might bring unprecedented stability, she countered. As the discussions continued, Jay and Yuna exchanged a subtle glance. They both understood that this moment would be recorded in human history as a turning point. A seemingly obscure legal text had just transformed humanity's entire galactic standing. The bridge's ambient lighting shifted, mimicking the tension in the room. Outside the vessel's transparent panels, distant stars continued their eternal dance, indifferent to the monumental conversation happening within. Humanity had accidentally discovered its greatest shield, not through military might, not through technological superiority, but through a forgotten paragraph in an ancient legal document. As the meeting concluded, J. Park knew nothing would be the same. The galaxy had just learned that humans were far more complex than anyone had previously imagined. The unexpected precedent was set. Humanity was now legally untouchable. The New Terra colony stood as humanity's most distant settlement, a fragile outpost surrounded by the infinite darkness of space. 100-meter-high protective walls encircled the primary habitat, housing nearly 10,000 human settlers who had traveled generations to establish this new home. Captain Hyunlee watched the orbital scanners with growing tension. Something was approaching. Massive energy signatures that didn't match standard navigation protocols. The orbital collective had been tracking human settlements for months, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Their warships emerged from hyperspace simultaneously, dark metallic vessels that seemed more like living machines than constructed technology. Each ship carried weapons capable of obliterating entire planetary regions in seconds. The lead vessel, nearly 3 kilometers long, pulsed with destructive potential. "Incoming transmission," announced the communication specialist, her voice steady despite the imminent threat. The alien commander's holographic image appeared, a creature with multiple eyes and a skeletal structure that seemed mechanically engineered. "Human settlement," the translator converted its complex language. "Prepare for complete territorial absorption." Hyunlee's fingers moved across the control panel, activating defensive protocols. But something unexpected happened. The alien weapons systems began shutting down, one after another. Electronic circuits failed. Targeting mechanisms collapsed. The protective legal clause they had discovered weeks earlier wasn't just words. It was an active, living shield. Alien ships drifted helplessly, their sophisticated technology rendered useless by an ancient legal mechanism they couldn't comprehend. Confusion spread across their communication networks. How could a simple legal text neutralize their entire invasion strategy? "Sir," said a junior officer, "their weapons are completely disabled." Hyun watched with a mixture of shock and strategic calculation. The orbital collective had never encountered a defense mechanism like this. Their entire military doctrine relied on overwhelming technological superiority and swift conquest. The alien commander's holographic image flickered with rage. Complex linguistic patterns suggested extreme frustration, a universal emotion that transcended species. They had planned this invasion for decades, studying human settlements, calculating every possible strategic approach. Yet here they were, completely neutralized by a few lines of legal text. On the colony's surface, settlers continued their daily routines. Farmers worked in controlled agricultural domes. Engineers maintained life support systems. Children played in carefully designed recreational zones. They remained unaware of the massive fleet that had just been rendered completely ineffective. Hyunlee understood the profound significance of this moment. Humanity wasn't just protected. They were fundamentally unassailable through direct military action. The alien fleet began retreating, their communication channels filled with complex discussions about this unprecedented situation. They had never encountered a species with such unexpected legal protection. "Document everything," Hyun instructed his team. "Every communication, every system failure. This is historic." Monitoring systems captured every detail of the failed invasion. The legal shield wasn't just theoretical. It was a real functioning barrier that could prevent any direct aggressive action against human settlements. Hours passed. The alien fleet disappeared into hyperspace, leaving behind only confusion and unanswered questions. New Terra remained untouched, its settlers continuing their daily lives, completely unaware of how close they had come to potential destruction. In the command center, Hyunlee allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had just demonstrated that technological might wasn't the only form of protection. Sometimes, an obscure legal text could be more powerful than the most advanced weapons. The galaxy had just learned an important lesson about underestimating humans. As stars continued their silent dance outside the colony's protective shields, a new chapter in human interstellar history had begun, one where diplomacy and legal precision would become humanity's most potent weapons. The Galactic Judicial Council chamber was a massive circular room designed to accommodate representatives from hundreds of different species. Today, the atmosphere felt electric with tension. Seok Choi, humanity's lead diplomatic lawyer, stood at the central platform, his tailored black suit a stark contrast against the holographic displays surrounding him. 17 different star systems had united to challenge humanity's unprecedented legal protection. Their representatives wore elaborate ceremonial attire that reflected their unique biological characteristics, some humanoid, some completely alien, all united by a single purpose: to find a way around the protective clause. "The law is clear," Seok began, his voice calm and precise. Statute 7.3, subsection B of the Universal Sentient Rights Charter provides absolute protection for emerging species with demonstrable evolutionary potential. The Centauri representative, a crystalline being whose body shifted colors with emotional states, interrupted. "Potential. Humans are barely spacefaring. They have minimal technological development compared to established civilizations." Seok activated a holographic display showing humanity's rapid technological advancements. Breakthrough after breakthrough flickered across the screen. Quantum computing developments, genetic research, advanced propulsion systems. Each achievement was meticulously documented, showing humanity's extraordinary adaptability. Technological progression isn't just about current capabilities, Seok argued. It's about potential for rapid innovation. Humans have demonstrated an unprecedented ability to solve complex problems and adapt quickly. The judicial panel, composed of representatives from the most ancient civilizations, listened carefully. Each member had access to millions of years of historical documentation, and Seok knew he was presenting a case that would be scrutinized at the most microscopic level. Behind Seok, a team of human legal experts prepared supporting documentation. They had spent months preparing every possible argument, analyzing the legal text from every conceivable angle. The Orion Cluster representative, a reptilian creature with multiple eyes, spoke next. "This protection creates an imbalance in galactic political structures. If every emerging species could claim such immunity, it would destabilize centuries of established diplomatic protocols." Seok had anticipated this argument. He presented historical precedents, times when emerging species have been crucial in resolving complex galactic conflicts. Humanity's unique problem-solving approach and diplomatic flexibility were carefully documented. "We're not seeking conflict," Seok explained. "We're seeking fair engagement. This law doesn't prevent interaction. It prevents unwarranted aggression." Hours passed. The legal battle became increasingly complex. Each argument was dissected, examined, and challenged. The human legal team worked seamlessly, anticipating challenges, providing immediate counter-arguments. What the alien civilizations didn't realize was that humanity had transformed this legal challenge into a strategic opportunity. Every moment in the judicial chamber was a chance to demonstrate their intelligence, adaptability, and diplomatic sophistication. The Andromeda Coalition representative, a being composed of interconnected energy patterns, finally spoke. "The spirit of the law matters as much as its literal interpretation." This statement became a turning point. It suggested that the judicial panel was beginning to understand the nuanced nature of humanity's legal protection. As the session continued, something remarkable happened. Some alien civilizations began to see potential benefits in supporting human protection. They recognized that a species with such remarkable adaptive capabilities could become valuable allies rather than threats. Seok Choi's strategy wasn't just about defending the legal clause. It was about demonstrating humanity's unique value to the galactic community. When the initial hearing concluded, no immediate resolution was reached. But something had changed. The perception of humanity had shifted from a minor, potentially disposable species to a civilization worth understanding. Outside the judicial chamber, stars continued their silent journey, unaware that a small human delegation had just potentially reshaped galactic diplomatic structures. The legal warfare had begun, and humanity was proving to be an unexpected and formidable participant. The massive coalition assembled in the Deep Space Diplomatic Station, a complex structure floating near the gravitational boundary of 3 star systems. Representatives from 17 different civilizations gathered, their technological capabilities far beyond human understanding. Each delegation brought centuries of political experience, intricate diplomatic strategies, and a burning desire to find a loophole in humanity's legal protection. Captain J. Park led the human delegation, accompanied by Una Kim and a team of legal experts. They looked small compared to the massive alien representatives, some towering 3 meters tall, others existing as complex energy formations that shifted and changed continuously. "We will dismantle this protection," growled the Krell representative, his reptilian features twisted with frustration. His species had planned human conquest for generations, and this legal barrier was their most significant obstacle. The station's central chamber was a marvel of engineering. Holographic displays captured every nuance of conversation. Translation systems worked continuously, converting complex linguistic patterns into understandable communication. Una Kim studied the alien delegates carefully. Each civilization represented a different approach to the challenge. Some sought direct confrontation, others preferred subtle legal manipulation. The Centauri Coalition, known for their complex legal strategies, seemed particularly interested in finding microscopic weaknesses in the protective clause. "The law cannot be absolute," argued the Andromeda representative, a being composed of interconnected energy patterns. "No legal framework is without potential interpretation." J. Park understood the stakes. This wasn't just a diplomatic meeting. This was a battle that would determine humanity's future in the galactic community. One small mistake could expose them to potential destruction. The human legal team had prepared extensively. They had analyzed millions of historical legal precedents, studied the original drafting of the Universal Sentient Rights Charter, and developed multiple defensive strategies. Hours turned into days. The negotiations became increasingly complex. Alien civilizations proposed elaborate scenarios designed to test the limits of human protection. Each scenario was carefully constructed to find potential weaknesses in the legal shield. A holographic simulation showed multiple potential invasion scenarios. In each case, the legal protection activated, preventing direct aggressive action. The alien representatives watched with growing frustration. The Orion Cluster representative proposed a particularly sophisticated challenge. They suggested a series of economic restrictions that might indirectly pressure human settlements. But even this strategy collapsed when confronted with the precise language of the protective clause. "Humans are not just protected," Una explained during one critical moment. "The law ensures our ability to develop and engage freely in the galactic community." What the alien civilizations didn't realize was that humanity was turning this challenge into an opportunity. Each negotiation, each proposed scenario, allowed humans to demonstrate their adaptability, intelligence, and diplomatic sophistication. Some alien delegates began to change their perspective. They recognized that humanity represented something unique, a species with extraordinary potential for growth and problem-solving. The station's environmental systems maintained a neutral atmosphere, but the diplomatic tension was palpable.